Hey there. So, there's a subject that has been on my mind, and I think it's something so crucial, especially since so many people ignore. I decided to call it You Are the Boulder, Not the Catapult. So, why did I choose that? So, generally, you tend as a person, not you specifically, the person listening to me now, you as a person might find the tendency to throw your current problems to the future in hopes of not having to deal with them now. And sometimes you even take from that future the cost to pay for your leisure now. And in a sense, you think that the boulder is the problem and you are the catapult and you just throw it far away, and that makes you not have to deal with it. However, you actually are the boulder itself. So sit down, relax, and I hope this is enjoyable and beneficial. I'll get into details about what I mean, and I will try to. Actually, I wanted to stop saying try and just do so. And I will give examples that illustrate the point. So, for so many people, me included, possibly you as well, we have the tendency to get panicked sometimes and worry about what we have to deal with in the here and now at the expense of our capacity to focus on the future. Now, how does that manifest? For example, you need to pay for something right now, something came up, let's say a loan or a bill, and you lack the amount of money that you need to pay for it. Actually, not even a loan or a bill, which actually are examples, but let's use an opportunity, something that will, it's a chance. If you don't take it now, it will go away. So you will think, you know what, I'll go get a loan and acquire this chance as soon as possible before it goes away, and I'll deal with the interests and the ramifications of having your income cut by a percentage by the bank later. For now, I want this now. So in this example, you think that you threw a boulder to the future, it will be dealt with later. And you are the catapult. You are here, you're gonna get this chance, and it's gonna make things better, and things will solve themselves in the future. That's the thing I've seen so many people do. I'm not sure if I've done it before, but I probably did in the past, where I would not want to look at some problems that I have to face and think I will deal with it later. When the time comes, when I have to, I will deal with it. And it's a normal thing, it's a human behavior to want to not face something that brings with it discomfort and confrontation, and think, you know what, for now, I just want to not do that. So, another easy example would be, and actually, it's two different examples in the same one, which are associated with the gym and working out and taking care of your health and your body. The first one is, you know what, I'll just eat junk food. I want to enjoy now. I don't care about 10 years later. It's not me who's going to deal with the consequences of being unhealthy. However, it is you. You are the same person, the same you 20 years from now. 10 years from now, a year from now, you will still be the person who will have to deal with the consequences of you from the past. Maybe if you want to think back to things that you've done a while ago, a few months ago, or a year ago, and see how they affected you and are affecting you now, you will associate and feel like, yeah, relatable. That's relatable. An example would be some of us, some people do have loans, and you will think, you know what, probably I've spent all the money that I took a loan for, yet I still am paying for it. And usually, the counter argument I get, especially in this example, the money and loans, is, well, it was necessary. I had to pay it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pay for other things. And that's a whole subject that deserves being addressed, which is financial management, understanding income and outcome, understanding how payment and expenses, whether they are in installments or if they have interests, that's a whole subject that I'd be happy to address and give it its due diligence, like not just brush over it, no, talk about it in details. So let's go back to the gym example. You ignore your health, you eat whatever you want to eat, 3 donuts a day, junk food, chocolate, soda, Coke, whatever, and you don't exercise. Eventually, you will gain weight, not in a healthy way, and you will grow weaker, maybe lethargic. And it's only because your pleasures and your happiness in the moment, which is enjoyment of that, is to you more important than dealing with the consequences of not being healthy. So that's in the future. Another example is, and this is, I have nothing to do with people who take steroids, but I will address the subject in hopes of clarifying what I mean. So let's say you're somebody who want to look big as soon as possible, and you don't want to wait. You want a shortcut. So you will go and take testosterone, growth hormones, and injections that will give you the body of a superhero in a couple of months. Now, I'm not sure if people know this when they do it. They are paying the cost forward, actually backward. Anyway, they will pay for it in the future because their muscles will grow bigger and they will look lean and cut and they will look, in quotation marks, perfect. However, their organs will be hurt. Their heart might be enlarged. Their kidney will get exhausted, etc., etc. It's a whole can of worms that they will be opening upon themselves in the future, and they will not be able to maintain it for more than a short period of time. Sometimes it's 3 months, 6 months. Sometimes it's a couple of years, as long as they keep cycling back and forth. However, in this example, and I have to disclaimer again, I'm not giving any advice or criticism to people who do take them. Nobody asked me, so it's none of my business. However, so they want the now, and they don't think, or perhaps even care, about the boulder that the catapult will throw in the distant future, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, even 20 years from now. However, by the time, let's say it's somebody who's 20 years old or 25, by the time they're 35 or 40, it feels so far and so distant in the future, they don't even associate it into being them. And so that's not even the main subject. The main subject is something that can be very close to the near future, meaning it could be something that you will be paying for tomorrow or next week or a month from now by hurrying up and rushing just to get it now. And it's okay, I'm going to deal with it a month from now. However, and this is usually the case, when a month passes, you will not be dealing with it once and that's it. It's going to linger. So, for example, taking loans, you want the money now and you get it now, but you're going to be paying for it over years. It's very rare even that people pay for it over a period of 2 or 3 months. No, it will take them years. An example is you want something for $1,000, for example. I'm just giving a number here. You don't have a thousand. So you go get a loan for 1,000, but the interest is 500, so it's 1,500, and you get it, and you're gonna have to pay 100 a month for 15 months. That's just a very generic example. People do it way worse by taking crippling loans over periods of time like 5-10 years. Sometimes it's necessary in specific cases. However, the mindset that something has to be the way it is in its entirety wrong. That mindset that this is how it's supposed to be, this is how it should be, that's not really the case in anything ever. Okay, that was a very broad and bold statement. Not in everything ever. Generally, you have 2 hands, you have 1 head, so I can't say ever. Generally, you want to sleep at night and wake up in the morning, so I digress anyway. So for most things, and I'll give you an example or a couple of examples of what I mean by that. So people say, no, you have to have a loan. You cannot survive without being in debt. Or, and I've heard this personally, no, you have to take steroids. No one at the gym doesn't take them. Or you will never reach that level of health and physique if you don't do this or that. Another example, and again, it's none of my business, and I do not pass any judgment on anyone. It's okay, everyone does what they want, but just to deliver the point. Another example is everyone else does it, so it is how it's supposed to be. I was going to say the example of plastic surgery, but that's a field that I lack information in, so I will not talk about it or give examples in it. And I'm certain not everyone says that's how it's supposed to be, so everyone takes or gets plastic surgery. So here's the gist of this message. Pay attention to yourself in the future as if that person is you already, because that person is indeed you. You are the boulder. When the catapult throws it away, you're the one who will go flying, and you will deal with the consequences of what you have to deal with. Even if you don't now, you will deal with it in the future. However, and this is crucial, I didn't mention this before yet, I have to mention it now. Usually, 90% of the time, if not 100% of the time, the consequences that you will have to deal with in the future are worse than if you had dealt with it in the present right now. So what does that mean in the few examples I mentioned? So if you were to eat healthy now, it's not going to be as difficult to enjoy food and enjoy taking care of your health. If you were to start saving money now and deal with the inconvenience of financial struggle now, it's going to be way easier than having to deal with financial struggle in the future when you are already in debt and most of your income is not even for you, and everyone owes you. You owe everyone money and you owe the bank. Dealing with that, the financial difficulty or the health challenges or the lack of enjoyment of pleasures, dealing with that now is way better than having to deal with the consequences in the future, because they will be worse. They will come back to bite you with interest. And usually, it's a trajectory. Let's say if you deal with it now, I'm looking at the camera so that I can give examples with my hands. The trajectory, if you deal with it now, is an upward trajectory. Things will continue to get better for you as you deal with things now and you, I will say, be capable and learn to be capable and learn to take accountability. The trajectory will be upward, so you will continue to get better. And if you treat the catapult example, things in the future, I'll throw it away in the future, I'll deal with it later, it will be a downward trajectory and things will keep getting more difficult. And I even imagine it like taking away from the sand beneath you to pay for something now, and then you keep sinking down into a ground that is not as solid as it were, and it continues to become like quicksand that will bury you down. So that's my message. Thank you for listening. By the way, I'm back to giving coaching sessions. It's on my website. If you're interested to collaborate or book a session with me, you can go there, and that's something that I do. And I welcome you if you are in need of guidance or to talk to me. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.